All right, good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Today's Wednesday, August 27th. We got a big Labor Day fall weekend ahead of us. Lots going on in the area. Got local high school football teams kicking off tomorrow night. Our colleges are all wound up and we're ready to go. If the weather's cool, fall's in the air. So we're excited and looking forward to the 3-day weekend. Before we get there, let's cover today's message. So today's question, what's a car run on? We all know cars run on gasoline. And just like the creator of that car designed and developed that engine and that vehicle to run on one thing, it doesn't run well on other things. Well, our creator, when God designed our bodies, he created us to run on his love and his peace. And God cannot give us happiness and peace apart from him because we were designed to be filled and operate on that. But apart from him, we cannot experience peace because it is not there. It does not exist, and there is no such thing. Today's message is, Blessed are the Peacemakers. Now, if you're like me, you grew up late 70s, 80s, maybe you were a Southern rock junkie, listened to Leonard Skinner, 38 Special. A lot of the youngsters will have no idea who that is. But one of my favorite songs was Follow the Peacemakers by Molly Hatchet. And a lot of people don't really know, they weren't real popular, but you know, the songs and the lyrics are about people bringing peace, even to the point of falling. Now, this beatitude in Matthew 5:9 encourages the pursuit of peace and reconciliation. And it's identifying peacemakers as children of God. You see, the world's not going to make peace on its own. Nations are fighting. People are fighting. Russia, Ukraine's in what, year 3 of their war? Israel and Hamas, 2 years in, just constant fighting, constant turmoil. And so are people. Whether it's over political beliefs, religious beliefs, whatever, people are at odds. You may even have a relationship in your life that's full of bitterness, some contempt. But let's be clear. Peacemaking is different than peacekeeping. Peacemakers resolve conflict through the love of Jesus. Peacekeepers avoid conflict and just want everything to be quiet. Police officers are called peacekeepers. Everything's fine, and they're there to do what? To maintain and to try to ensure everything stays quiet and peaceful. Now, sometimes conflict's going to arise, and they have to step in and intervene and become peacemakers. But their job is to be a peacekeeper. So we understand the difference. Peacemakers resolve conflict. They go into the battle. They run into the fire. Peacemakers avoid conflict. They're trying to keep everything just quiet. Which one are you? Are you the kind of person when you see conflict, when you see people at odds, or you're at odds with somebody, do you dive into it to resolve it and put that fire out immediately before it grows? Or do you just try to keep the peace? You're avoiding. I'll binge watch some TV. Maybe I'll put my headphones on and just play video games for hours and just block out the outside world. I'm avoiding conflict at all costs. Maybe you go so far you even avoid contact with whoever it is you're having tensions with. Not only will you not resolve the conflict, I'm just not going to talk to them. I'm not going to go to the places they go. They go to that restaurant, I'm not going there anymore. Oh, that person at the gym, can't stand them, I'll just change gyms. And sometimes it gets to the point we even move churches. We even move and avoid family events because we don't want to be around that one person. We're avoiding conflict. You're a peacekeeper at that point. But we need more peacemakers. Matthew 5:9, our verse of the day said, Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. So peacemakers is our trait, and it's our characteristic that's valued in the kingdom of heaven. And the promise is you will be a child of God. You'll be an heir to the throne, because God rewards those who are peacemakers. Now, make no mistake about it. Jesus assured us there will be trouble, there'll be chaos and conflict in this world. The devil's constantly stirring the pot. So they never said the world would be peaceful. Question becomes, how do we approach it? Do we avoid it? Or do we approach it with the love of Jesus? Peacemaking requires action. The action to intentionally restore harmony and resolve a conflict. It is not avoiding the conflict, but it's seeking solutions and understanding. Now, let me be clear. It's not forcing your will on somebody else. It's not being passive-aggressive. And it's not trying to convince or force somebody to even agree with you. Peacemaking requires each of us to get out of our comfort zone, to let go of the bitterness, and more often than not, to forgive someone. It allows us to have different opinions while still loving each other. To find common ground. Isn't it amazing when you really sit down and talk to somebody and work through an issue? We all have more common ground than we realize. We all agree on more things than disagree. And yet, so much of our conflict in this world is on the one areas of disagreement. Proverbs 12:20 says, "Deceit is in the hearts of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy." Peacemakers point the way to Jesus. You can still disagree. You may have that person that does not bring peace in your life. They just bring conflict and chaos and discord. And you can disagree with philosophy and theology, and you like Coke over Pepsi, red meat over chicken, whatever it is. You can disagree on everything. But our purpose is to understand that as we are all children of God, we're all made in His image. And we are called to show respect for each other, even if we disagree on common things. And we need to invite God into the space of peacemaking. Because that one person that we're at conflict or we're at odds with, they were created by God as well. And when God looks at us and looks at them, He sees us both as wonderful masterpieces of creation. So as peacemakers, we must lead the way with humility and empathy. Because what truth is, we all need grace. We've all sinned. We've all fallen short of the mark. So seeking to understand others and their perspective, that's essential in making peace. And you could understand someone's point of view, their perspective, to make peace, and you can do that without compromising your own values. Some people will say, I don't even understand that political argument. Makes no sense to me. Just don't understand it. Well, so I'm not going to do that. Well, you can understand it without compromising your own values and participating in that. But we need to really look for common ground, and we need to start being we have to realize that person can't understand our point of view. If we're going to truly seek peace in this world, we have to find common ground. We have to understand that we're going to celebrate our differences and that God made each of us unique with our own personalities, characteristics, and traits. Peacemakers lead the way with truth and grace. Jesus did that. And if we're going to be followers of Christ and we're going to represent Him as our ambassadors on this earth, we have to do the same thing. Jesus always did three things when He approached somebody, when there was a conflict. Number one, He acknowledged them. He always called them son, daughter, mother. He acknowledged who they were and their existence and the relationship, called them by name. He acknowledged the individual, that person is my Father's child. Number two, he always forgave. No matter how bad the transgression was, how bad what they had done was, he always was there to offer forgiveness. And number three, he always forgave them and told them to go in peace. Go in peace. Go and sin no more. Look at every time in the Bible when he talks to the woman at the well or the woman hurting or the lady they were going to stone. He calls them by name. He forgives them of what they did, but encourages them to go in peace and sin no more. And he never participated in the conflict or the transgression, but he was a peacemaker. He was there to represent the love of his heavenly Father. Romans 12:18 says, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. There's two key words on there. If it's possible, as far as it depends on you. Doesn't depend on the other person. Doesn't depend on anybody else. As far as it depends on you, we take accountability for making peace. It tells us, what are we to do? We are to live at peace with who? Everyone. As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So how can you be a peacemaker today? Who do you need to make peace with? I want you to call them out by name. Put that name, and you have to yell out here, but put that person in your name. Is there a person in your life that's just, you hear the name or you see that person, you immediately go, ooh, that person always brings me discord. That person just stresses me out. I see that person walking to me and I just want to avoid them. I see that phone number on the cell phone, I don't even want to answer. Because immediately my pulse rate goes up and my stress levels go up. Who is that person? And here's your challenge. I want you to pray today over that person. Pray for them. Pray over not only the individual, pray over the relationship. Whatever that relationship is, whether it's family, work, some other relationship, how you know that person, pray over that person. Humble yourself. Pray over the relationship. And don't forget to pray over yourself and the other person equally. Because peacemaking is going to require all of us to come to the table and understand that God is the ultimate source of peace. And we are God's ambassadors of peace on this earth. And we may have broken relationships in this world, and we do, and there's conflict, and there's family strifes, and there's work strifes, and there's political conflicts. And we have to understand to pray and lift each other up, even when we disagree, no matter how bad the hurt was, no matter how bad the transgression was. We've got to learn to let go and make peace. Happiness follows those who promote peace. Peacemaking flows from wisdom that's pure, it's gentle, and it's full of mercy. Colossians 3:15 says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Since as members of one body, you are called to peace, and be thankful. And again, in Colossians 3:15, what's some of the key words? So we're to let peace of Christ rule in our hearts. Why? Members of one body. We are all members of the body of Christ. So many times we have that personal enemy, that friend that betrayed us, that crazy relative that did something bad. But we have to remember we're all members of one body. And we're called to peace. And at the end of the day, we're to be thankful. Members of one body. We are not each other's enemies. We have a spiritual enemy that's a higher battle than anything we can ever imagine. We are called to unite and to love and to promote peace. Because our true enemy, the devil, he's trying to stir the pot. He's trying to convince you that person's not worth reconciling with. That person doesn't deserve your grace and your love. That person doesn't deserve peace. And he wants to just ratchet up the tension because he's creating spiritual chaos. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But as much as it's up to us, let's try to live at peace with everybody. Even if we have to agree to disagree and go our separate ways, we don't have to carry a burden around with tension, conflict, and stress. You may have a work relationship. You may have a client you're dealing with. It's just that impossible client to deal with. And you just don't want to talk to them. You want to avoid them at all costs. But we need to approach that relationship with the spirit of peace. And we can agree to disagree, and we can go our separate ways, but we should always seek peace. And we should always do so without bitterness and hatred and animosity towards each other. Because those are things and seeds the devil's going to plant into us. So in closing, Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Now it's a really one of my favorite verses in the Bible, but it's really hard because the challenge is there. It's a hard challenge to be a peacemaker because you're convinced right now, the name you thought of, no way I can make peace with that person. You've already said they don't deserve it. I already tried, don't want to go down that path again. It's a hard challenge, but look at the reward that's on the other side. To be called a child of God. God sent his son, Jesus, a child of God, to this very earth to bring us peace. You can be a peacemaker. You've already thought of somebody during this message, and you've already had several thoughts in your mind. I can't do it. Just can't do it. Just not that person. I'll think of somebody else, not that person. And you've already doubted yourself that you have the qualities of traits of Christ in you to be a peacemaker. You've already doubted yourself. And we doubt ourselves on so many things in life, whether it's the ability to be a peacemaker, the ability to step up with a challenge, the ability to conquer a goal or overcome an issue. Imagine where you would be if you believed in yourself as much as you doubt yourself. Where'd you be in life? If you truly believed in you and Christ in you, as much as you doubt things are going to work out, as much as you doubt things are going to go downhill, as much as you doubt, I can't do that anymore. I'm not capable of that. I don't have that background. I don't have that doubt. What if you believed in yourself as much as you doubt yourself? What could you accomplish? So today, as we wrap up, pray for God to work in you first and then to work in others. If we blame others for our circumstances and for conflict and disrupting our peace, we're giving them power to control our peace. Our peace resides only in Jesus. Let's not ever give anyone else that kind of power over us, that they could ever disrupt our peace. There's no one on this earth that has that kind of power can disrupt the peace of Jesus that resides in us. Seek peace through Jesus and prayer, because Jesus is the ultimate peacemaker. And he's called the Prince of Peace for a reason. And by being a peacemaker, he's also a son of God, a child of God. And that's the same promise we have if we too go out and seek peace. So have a blessed Labor Day weekend. Seek peace. Even if the person you're sitting next to is cheering for the other team, seek peace in all you do. God bless you. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you in September next week.